Update for June 4th, 2023, day 466 of the war, and of the date update. So this is unscheduled video because there are significant developments on the front line. So I'm just going to jump straight to front line. I'm not going to discuss much strategy-wise. So first item is what I mentioned before, is that Russia is on the way to its 1917 moment, and was another day where Wagner Group essentially arrested commander of the 72nd Brigade. Here is the 72nd Brigade, accusing him that he was shooting at them. They showed the video of this person. Looks like they applied some physical force to him. He confessed to everything, basically apologized. So as you can see, the situation, it's becoming that Wagner Group is becoming one of the forces of whatever will happen in Russia, whatever may come. But situation is very clearly is not going well, and there are a lot of red flags. Then other situation that was also related to internal politics in Russia is that Russian this RDK attacked on the force again near Shebekino village, Novosilka. They effectively captured that village. They captured also, I think, 10 or 11 Russian prisoners of war. It's unclear if this is again incursion and they retreating back, or it's sort of more permanent establishment at this point. But there is very clear problem on the Russian side there, is because most of them are only conscripts and state guards, and so they don't have enough equipment, knowledge, and everything, and probably most of it is leadership to successfully fight these incursions, and it's very clear that they are sort of low on morale there. It's still unclear if 150th Division that I mentioned has been pulled from the area a little bit south of Donetsk, if it's moved to Belgorod or it's somewhere else. And I'll explain why I think it might be somewhere else. It's still unclear where it's going to be, where it's going to end up. But in any case, this situation, why it's very political, because RDK basically called on the Belgorod governor to come and to talk to them in exchange for a couple of prisoners of war, which he refused. He basically got scared, didn't show up, and so then Wagner Group actually interjected, wanted to have this negotiation with RDK, but RDK was not interested in Wagner Group. They going after government officials, and the idea is to show that they are worthless, essentially, which they succeeded at doing. In any case, the situation becoming politically very tense inside of Russia, and the biggest problem is that Russian president nowhere to be seen. There's no reaction, there's nothing, it's totally quiet, and what that leads to is that this moment of king is naked realization inside of Russia politically, which obviously will lead to the next move. Okay, we need new brave king. And Wagner Group is, well, in Russia's case it's Tsar, but it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. And Wagner Group is essentially prime to the head of Wagner Group, Prigozhin, is prime to become this new Tsar or king or whatever, emperor, whatever you want to call it. And so this is what's really going on. It's still unclear if it's, as I mentioned before controlled demolition or its truly system is becoming unglued. And how it's going to play out, it's sort of unclear. The other sort of opposing force to the Wagner group is Russian Ministry of Defense, along with Kadyrov troops. As I mentioned, there was literally a day or 2 days ago, there was conflict that was settled with the help of Russian president. But obviously, this is just, it wasn't, so I'm not using the right word, it wasn't really settled. It's sort of suppressed for now. But I think with, as things are not going well and right, this will sort of intensify conflict within Russian political groups, basically, without this Russian dukes inside of Russian power structure. So this is what's going on there. And then, before I jump there, I want to mention that probably today we can say that it was a day of the start of Ukrainian offensive, and we'll discuss it. So, as expected, it's starting on Zaporizhya front line. But before we get there, we're just going to quickly walk through the rest of the front line just to kind of understand what's going on. So here, first, North Lugansk, no essential changes. Some Russian tactical attack here along this road, similar to yesterday, and no essential changes here. Now let's move to North Donbass. Things here are again quiet, and sorry, I forgot to remove this arrows, but essentially no essential differences. Things are quiet, and this is the 72nd Brigade here. So the commander of it was captured in the rear. So obviously he's not and there was also there was a company with him that was apparently shooting at Wagner or preventing them from passing. It's very unclear the whole development would happen there. And they even put anti-tank mines. But in any case, Wagner prevailed. Obviously, as for those who viewed my videos, they understand that regular Russian troops are no match to Wagner mercenaries, it was proven again. Other small development here, it looks like Ukrainian troops are putting little pressure, and regular Russian troops are starting to basically pull back a little bit. There's nothing really worth even it's not even possible to show or mention, but it just essentially 100 meters back and really nothing. But it kind of shows that the I'd say ability to defend regular Russian troops is again no match to Wagner mercenaries. And there is a very high probability or chance that eventually Russian troops will be squeezed from the area around Bakhmut and Bakhmut itself, but it's obviously going to take a very long time. Now let's move to central Donbass front line. Here, Ukrainian troops attempted attack basically at this Pisky salient area, which was not successful. Was very strong attack. As if I would say characterize it, it's just I would say absolutely unimaginative attack, very primitive, and didn't go anywhere much. Then the same primitive attacks from the Russian side in Marinka, as I mentioned before. It's based on direct directive from the Russian president. So that's what's going on there. Then let's just jump to the Zaporizhia front line and look at what's going on there. So first of all, Ukrainian troops started attack on the sort of eastern side of it. And again, the attack is quite primitive. Basically, they're squeezing this Russian salient. Let's call it Novosilka, Velyka Novosilka salient. So you can see they managed to a little bit squeeze up to 3 kilometers into sort of Russian troops withdrew. Ukrainian troops at least lost probably 10 units of equipment, at least, probably more in the process. So it wasn't easy squeeze. It relatively costly, not terribly costly, but not prohibitively costly, but there's definitely losses there. Again, it's example of let's say non-creative approach where just primitively squeezing the salient, which could be alternative, would be much better alternative, is to attack, as I show, and create mini pocket, or at least attack from Malinivka, where you can see towards Lubimivka, and from this direction. So at least force large collapse and sort of panic withdrawal of Russian troops. Unfortunately, Ukrainian command decided to choose with sort of slow, painful squeeze. So far, it was initial stages were successful. Remains to be seen if this will continue to be successful. And then there are, I want to mention new units here. Basically, there are new resources used for this offensive so far. It's 23rd Brigade, 31st Brigade, and 37th Naval Infantry Brigade. So this is what's operating. Probably there are more. This is what's sort of becoming clear at this point. Then there was another Ukrainian attack from Malatok-Machka, which was not successful. And then there are also a group of forces somewhere here in the middle that probably will be committed a little bit later. So this is just initial stages, as I said, probing sort of the forces, probing Russian defenses across the entire front line to see where it's weak. And so far, it was the only true weakness was the salient, which I think Russian command is not willing to sort of defend strongly because they understand that they can turn into pocket very easily. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and until tomorrow. Bye-bye.